CB, I'm starting with you. Did the NBA players accomplish anything with the boycotts?
Yes, and how much remains to be seen, but I do think they accomplished something. They let NBA owners, corporate sponsors in the league, the television stations and networks know we will go there. And if there's another incident like what we saw with Jacob Blake within the next few weeks, maybe they will go there. Maybe that'll be the final straw. So we have seen that if they do go there, if they do make that sacrifice, then it will reverberate through other leagues. I know you said NFL players wouldn't follow suit. I'm not sure. Now, obviously, you guys played in the NFL, but if the players decided we've had enough, we're stepping away, I think that will put pressure on the black players in the NFL to follow suit and do the same thing. So the threat, I think, is there. Secondly, and I say how much remains to be seen, they talked to the lieutenant governor, the Milwaukee Bucks did, and the attorney general in Wisconsin. They are pushing for what the governor of Wisconsin is pushing for, which is for the Wisconsin legislature, which hasn't met for months, to meet next week and look at the police reform bill that has been on the table for more than a month. It's got nine different bills to it for police reform. If the pressure forces the legislature to meet and pass that bill, that is a big win for Wisconsin. And then what did they ask of the owners? Are they asking the owners to open up your arenas to be voting sites? That would be a win. Are they asking the owners to use your connections to talk to Donald Trump? A lot of them are friends with Donald Trump. Ask him to tone down the racially inflammatory rhetoric. That would be a win. Did they ask Donald Trump, the owners, to maybe look at what you can do to abolish police unions, which is a possibility. So I think there are things they could ask for that would be big wins. The question is, did they ask the owners for them, and will the owners go ahead and do it?
Did the players accomplish anything? It's three letters, TBD. Like Chris Broussard said, we just don't know. Let's go back. A quick history lesson, 1936. In the face of Hitler trying to show Nazi superiority, Jesse Owens, a black man, goes there and wins 4 medals. But it still took 10 years to integrate baseball in America, America's pastime, dominant sport at the time. Remember, Jesse Owens comes back to America and isn't given an American welcome. He said he still had to go in through the back door, still had to sit on the back of buses. So while there was a demonstration, it didn't necessarily make immediate change. Okay, let's talk about 1968. Tommy Smith, John Carlos, they raised their 5th on the podium at the Olympics after getting 1st and 3rd in the 200 meters. Well, still, in 2020, ahead of Tokyo, Olympic athletes were forced to sign something called Rule 50, which stated that you were not allowed to have a demonstration of any kind, political, religious, or racial propaganda while winning or on the podium. So a lot of these things, like a rubber band, they're pulled out, but then they will snap back and return to their normal state. Unless these players continue on in what they started, unless they persist and make this strike, this boycott, not just be a postponement, because really that's all it was. We ain't play games for 2 days and then we're going to start playing these games again. Then not much would have been accomplished. Again, in life, I like to be significant instead of being successful. But for the sake of this boycott, we need these players to make this more successful than just significant. For the last 24 and now to be 48 hours, it would have been significant. The sports world, the basketball world, it was put on pause. It stopped. It got our attention. But now, after it got our attention, what are you going to do with that attention that you got?
Yeah, who didn't grow up here? Use what you got to get what you want. I used to hear that from my aunties all the time, right? I don't know what these guys accomplished. TBD is a good way of saying it. I'm hopeful because you kept saying, Chris, and I respected that, players got the owners on notice, got the world on notice. We will go there, but where I'm from, I'm like, go where? What's up? Like, I call you on that challenge because you say you're going somewhere, but where are you going? Being a former athlete that was in his 20s and young 30s, I always had billionaires in my phone, always. Owners, I could call them. And it's amazing that I saw so many athletes not take advantage of networking. As I used to say, work the net. So what happens is a lot of athletes wait to say hello when it's really time to say goodbye. Or when they only need something. How about when you just care about the owner himself in the casual relationship, so then that alliance is already formed? To come at somebody almost at gunpoint and say, do this or else, and those things that you're demanding are societal ills that are pervasive before all of us were born, it's kind of a lot to ask in terms of what are the measurables that these athletes actually going to attain. So the crazy thing is making statements is one thing, but that is a lot different than planning, structuring, and sustaining a movement. Completely different animals. Ask Kaepernick about that. It's one thing to go out there and splash, but now, after that splash, what are you going to do to sustain that momentum that actually changes and materializes the words, the verbiage, to concrete actions? And because I've lived through era after era where everyone has said, and Acho pointed out in some of the history lessons, someone's done something, we said, that's the spark, we need it. But that's not the change that was necessary.